Meet Stacy Jordan. She is from Atlanta, Georgia. Stacy is a wife, mother, and grandmother. She is a financial coach and insurance agent. Stacy loves flooding her body with Juice Plus and being an urban farmer with the Tower Gardens. Join us every Saturday. The Hicks Sisters Zoom call, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Ask for the password.
So I'll be actually hosting the call. And so one of the things I want to talk about is this call is really about the Tower Gardens, but we do share a little about how we all got here in our journeys. And you'll hear a little bit more about the Juice Plus product. I think somebody's actually got a hot mic. And you will hear something about people's health as well on this. So with us, our story began back in 2005 when Beverly was in the military and she was in command actually. And one of the things that happened, she noticed a change in her energy. She was having some difficulties and challenges there. And through a diagnosis, we found ourselves in the hospital. And while we were there, they pretty much said, hey man, we want you to give yourself a shot where you give yourself a shot every day with one drug. There's a second drug, you give yourself a shot every other day. And they were working on a drug where she would have given herself a shot every month, but hadn't got that one approved. But before we left the hospital, they simply said, hey, it's only a 50-50 chance either of these drugs might work. And so when we got to our neighbor's house, they simply said, you can beat this, but it's in your diet. So get rid of all the white pasta, white sugar, white flour, anything white and processed, take out your diet and eat more fruits and vegetables. And so thus began our journey. They then shows a picture of the son's x-ray where he had a stage 4 brain tumor about the size of a grapefruit, and they had only given him 3 months to live. Well, 6 years later, when they were telling us this story, he was still around. And so it gave us a case whereby we said we can go back to the medications if this Juice Plus thing doesn't work. And so that's where we got started. And for me, I had been diagnosed with Crohn's disease, which is another autoimmune disease. And I had just given blood work before we started taking the Juice Plus. And when it was time for my follow-up visit, Beverly suggested I go get a copy of all my previous blood work. And as I sat there looking at the old blood work, I had all these highs and lows all over the place. And after about 45 days of being on Juice Plus, all those highs were down into the range and all those lows were up into the range, except for one, which we later found out was a biomarker for chronic inflammation and autoimmune diseases. So as an engineer, I'm used to looking at graphs and charts all the time because they paint a picture and they tell a story for me. But what this did was identify something I already knew to be true, and then it was correcting these things I had no clue about. And so that was significantly important. And so in these last 15, 16 years that we've been showing our story, we've been helping people right where they are because we realize that everybody's going through something different and all our bodies are in a different place. But we don't think there's any situation where good nutrition won't help, just like there's no situation where poor nutrition won't hinder. And so in 2012, as we were already helping people take control of their health, they introduced the Tower Gardens, which gave us the opportunity to help them take control of their food sources as well. And so the Tower Gardens, and this is where I'm going to turn my camera around, the Tower Gardens is the aeroponic growing system will actually grow over 20 different fruits and vegetables at the same time, and you do it without soil. And so here you can see the reservoir where it's a 20-gallon water reservoir in the Tower Garden Flex. And it's a pump in there that pushes the water up through the center of the tower. And then it actually showers the root system as it comes back down and feeds the plants. And so it has LED grow lights, which are very inexpensive. Somebody asked about the power usage. Someone said between $9 and $16 a year, so it's very low, and you can adjust them so it can go as close to or as far away to the plants as you need them to be based upon the maturity of the plants. So I just put these seedlings in here last week, and you see they've already started to blossom. And we have different type lettuces and marigolds. You can see the color in there, and some other romaines and Cherokees and magentas on the Tower Garden Flex. We also have a Tower Garden home growing system, which is the newer model, where it holds 13 gallons of water at the base, and then it actually does the same thing. It comes with 16 full-size plants, and then it comes with 16 microgreen plants. We can add different attachments or accessories to each of the towers. And so here we add an additional 32 ports, which is what you see the extra slots are for. So this plant actually has 62 plant sites that you can actually do at one time, and it all is in the same 24-inch or 30-inch diameter place. So you have a lot of versatility in growing what you want to eat, and then that's what you'll actually see for yourself. For us, we grow a variety of things just because we have a lot of people actually coming over for demonstrations, but you grow pretty much what you like to eat and consistently. And we call it from tower to table because you see we're right in the dining room outside the kitchen. Right now it's too icy and too snowy for me to take you outside to see our towers that are out on the deck, but this is just an introduction, and what you're going to be hearing from so many people that's also going to be on this call, a great opportunity where you can see the different things and different varieties and different experiences that so many people around the country are sharing with the Tower Gardens. So again, thank you for the opportunity just sharing on this call. And my queen says, she really misses you all, and she'll see you all as soon as she comes up.
Let me ask you, the Tower Gardens that you have outside on your deck, y'all have them in a greenhouse now, right?
Correct. So here in Southern Virginia, it actually gets pretty windy. And so the temperatures, even though it gets kind of cold, I'm going to turn it around and put my head out the door. Okay, as you see, we still got the snow and ice. And so it's just this particular brand came from Flower House. I got it off of Amazon. If you look closer, we can see it. But I'm sure they have other operations as well. And it came in a box that probably was about 4 inches wide, probably about 2.5 feet, long by wide, and it expands into what you see here. And so it's a 6x10 unit is what we have. I have 3 Tower Gardens units on the inside. You can kind of see the base shining through. And I'll go ahead and zip this up here. So through the mesh, you can kind of see Tower Gardens here. Okay, we've been facing 20-degree weather, so it's kind of cold. But nonetheless, you see the towers there on the inside here, and it's full of kales and shards and other, chives and other winter type plants, collard greens and stuff like that we have. So here are 2 of the towers. We have the committed support cages actually on these, and yeah, we love it. And it's actually pretty warm on the inside of there too. So we put aquarium heaters down in the water to keep it tempered, and it allows you to grow year round. So.
Is that just amazing? And it's mind-boggling to me because I am a product of the projects. I spent the first 15, 16 years of my life in the projects in Spanish Harlem, 106th Street. And when we have people that have ordered, that live in the projects, Tower Gardens, and then they sending me pictures and sending me thank yous and saying how, their kids have taken over the Tower Garden, and they getting up at night and sneaking food off the Tower Garden just lets me know that all of this is all worth it. And yes, I love it, and I do it for that, and I also do it for a income. So this became my second income, and then it became my number 1 income. And yes, we all know it's no secret, and I am not ashamed of being able to get paid fairly for the work that I put in, even though it's not so much work. It's more fun than it is work, but I'm not ashamed of that. And I always say how Reverend Ike always says the best way, because we always say we want to help people, right? But guess the best way to help poor people is not to be one of them. How you going to help them and you worrying about paying all of your bills? So this has just changed my life health-wise, but this business because of fruits and vegetables, and the money is in the fruits and vegetables. It's in the seeds. People are making a fortune in fruits, vegetables, and seeds, and so are we. And it's just an absolutely amazing thing. And so with that, I want to call one of our regular hosts on the call, and that is Lori.
Thank you so much, Adrian. Everything you are saying is exactly correct. I too grew up right outside of a city, right outside of Washington, D.C., with very little exposure to farming and gardening, and growing my own food wasn't something that I was exposed to at all. And I'm so grateful for the community that we have right here on this call tonight, who has helped me learn how to take on this growing my own food journey and just make it so much fun. And yes, I too joined this company and partnered with this company and make this a full-time business for myself. I've never looked back, and I've never had more fun with a group of people and just fallen in love with what I'm doing. You guys, working in corporate America, I remember I really wanted, how You want to get to that corner office, or you want to get to an office with a window. And now when I even look back at that, I think how limiting that is. You know, we're beyond the window. We're outside. We're talking to people, and we're sharing our message of better health with everyone. Johnny, thank you always so much for mentioning and sharing your story, and mentioning that it was a neighbor who shared with you the power of whole food nutrition. Because you guys, have you ever, I don't think I've mentioned that the same neighbor that shared with Johnny and Beverly is the exact same neighbor I met when I left my house and walked across the street to introduce myself to my brand new neighbor who had moved into our neighborhood. I often think about the power of being able to, wherever you live, change that entire community. Because we know for sure with 2 testimonies right here on this line that this neighbor changed the lives in the course of Beverly and Johnny, as she did for myself, my husband, and our family. It was 3 years ago that she introduced us to whole food nutrition in the form of a capsule or a gummy and omegas. And you guys, our family certainly did need it. We started eating these every single day, and changes started happening right before our very eyes. And if you added up all the prescriptions that our family was taking in this one household, we had 2 daughters home at that time. I would say it was about a dozen. I'm so happy to say that within the first year, and definitely by the second year, one by one, we were crossing off those medications. Today, my husband and I, we're so happy to say that we rarely, I can't even think of the last time we've gotten sick. We have such much better workouts. We're getting good rest. And you guys, we are prescription free. I'm forever grateful for this community. For me to be able to turn this into a full-time business has been just fantastic. So we really jumped on the idea of being able to grow all of our, or the majority of our own food. And even some stretches through the summer and the fall, I'm really happy to say that now I'm eating so raw, which has done my body so good. And I've learned how to become a real good gardener. All right, so I'm happy to show you what we have here. So I am starting with an indoor tower, and these seedlings have just been placed into this tower. We ordered these and received these just on Thursday, so this is a very new crop. But what you see in here is, since I'm steps away from the kitchen, there's my kitchen, I really wanted to just explore how many herbs that I could fill our diet, our everyday with. So we have chamomile and parsley and lemon, bee balm, lavender, dill, chives, catnip. I'm growing some things I'm not even sure what to do with, but I'm going to figure that out as we go. We have 2 types of thyme. We have some sweet peppers. We also have some red dandelion and some dandelion. This tower right here will be heading outside as soon as the weather is warm enough that these seedlings will be fine, because as Johnny mentioned, we are also here in Georgia experiencing some cold temperatures. So we've already started some marigolds. Everything is edible. Here our tomato plants are starting, which are going to be moved outside. Some more marigold plants, some beneficial plants.
Lori, is your tower watering itself right now?
Yes, it is.
I saw it turn on. Can we see the water coming down?
How's that? Can we see that right there?
Yeah.
There we go. That water is coming right through. Both of them are on the same tower, on the same timer, and I really appreciate that. We also are going to have another set of lights on this one. Right now, we're just sharing the lights. And so now we're going to have an opportunity to step outside. Before I step outside, I've been incorporating so many more herbs into recipes. And here We used some of the petals. I had viola and pansy cookies, but this is like a vegan shortbread recipe that I'm working on, which also incorporates like a dark chocolate and some of the flower petals. So I wanted to put that there.
Are the flowers from your tower?
Yes, they are. All right, and here is an opportunity for you to see exactly what we do when temperatures drop. So I have a netting that we're able to pull down just like this over top of the tower. I straighten it out a little bit more, but I'm trying to do it with one hand. Okay, so even through the winter, year-round gardening, this is what I am able to grow, and this has fed us all year long. So here we have a microgreen section of a variety of kale and greens. Here we're growing some of the pansies that I mentioned that I am cooking with. Here's cilantro, one of the red lettuce, some more kale, cabbage. We're juicing celery. So you see I have about 3 celery plants, rainbow chard, Swiss chard, some more herbs, and this tower, and some onions. This tower is our main tower that continues to be our beginning of any meal that we're getting ready to eat. We usually come visit this tower and harvest and then prepare our meals. And this one has some seedlings that we have already placed in for our spring gardening. And that Swiss chard growing right there, which has a big root on it, has been growing for over a year. And so I'm sentimentally attached to that plant there, and then some more celery. So I'll pull the covers down over these tonight. I did also just want to mention that right there, we put a fish tank heater in the basin to keep water temperatures. We have it set at 72 degrees so that the towers, the water doesn't freeze or the plants don't go into shock overnight.
Lori, can I ask you one more question?
Sure.
Do you have a huge deck? Because you have 2 towers there. And do you have a huge living room? Because you have 2 towers in there also.
Thank you so much for mentioning that, Adrienne. We are growing on probably the smallest space of any of the speakers. We're just on this patio right here. Thank goodness that this grows vertically. And the number of towers that I have, I'm growing over 2 acres worth of food because we have a micro farm here. We have the 2 inside and we have the 3 outside. And in regards to inside, no, we're able to put those they fit very neatly in a corner without taking up much space at all. And can you imagine just having that like fresh herbs, it's like my new pantry. I walk over to it so many times a day, really just to harvest, admire, or use it for any kind of recipe that I'm starting.
Who would have ever known that the revolution would be food and health? And we are all part of that revolution. No matter what we do in life, the first step is to be healthy. In this community, that's what we are about. We are all races. We are all different religions. We are all from different backgrounds. We have doctors, lawyers, politicians. We just have people like me, just average people making a huge difference. And that's why it is so important that we get together and we stay strong. And we do this as a community and keep going strong like we are. And with that, I would like to introduce our special guest speaker for tonight, and that is Stacy.
Awesome. Thank you, Adrienne. Wonderful Hicks Sisters for this platform and having me on tonight to simply share a portion of my story. Mother of 3 and grandmother of 3, wife. And listen, I don't know about you, but you may be able to say this. How many of you have, prayed and said or desired something? It was like, Lord, enlarge my territory, increase this, expand me. And I will say this, in November, my schedule, I'm a financial coach. My schedule began to increase, and we began to increase in workshops and conferences, and the demand just began to get really, really great. And what I asked for physically, I wasn't ready for it. And I found myself being tired and giving out, becoming winded. And I was like, I need a solution. And I was like, okay, what can I do? What can I do? I need to change my diet. I need to clean up. And I thought I was doing pretty good. I had a plan in place, but it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. So I attended this conference. I was a speaker for a Dreamcatcher conference in January, about this time last year. And at that conference is where I met my Juice Plus rep, Carmen, and she's on here tonight. And at the end of that conference, I go over to Carmen's station, and right there on her table is this beautiful Tower Garden. And all of these beautiful greens, everything that I needed. And Carmen was saying something. I couldn't really hear the other stuff that she was saying because I was so fixated. My eyes were set and gazed on this beautiful Tower Garden. And in my mind, all I could hear was say, this is my answer. This is my answer. This is exactly what I prayed for. In my mind, while she's talking, this is the conversation I'm having with them. This is it. This is it. I'm pointing to it. This is it. Give me the information about this. How much does this cost? Give me the information about this. This is what I want. And in February, my Tower Garden goddess came into our home. And it has indeed been a blessing. I was like, I want something that's not a fad, that's not a trend. There were some good programs and plans out there, but I wanted something that could be a lifestyle, a way of life, something that I can do for the rest of my life, that my entire family can participate in and be a part of. And that was it with the Tower Garden. And I was introduced to Juice Plus, and it has been a game changer. We brought in the Juice Plus, the veggies and the fruit, y'all. After 2 months of taking the Juice Plus, my husband complained of knee pain, going up and down the stairs and having to walk, constant nagging knee pain. All of a sudden one day he was like, what is that stuff you're giving me? My knees don't hurt anymore. I was like, are you serious? He's like, no, they don't hurt anymore. Whatever it is, it's working. So I would give that to, and thanks to putting the right foods in and fueling our bodies to help rid ourselves of some inflammation that needed to be removed from our bodies. It's wonderful. And I asked him again just to confirm. I was like, have you had any pain? And it has been less than a year, under a year right now. And he has been pain-free, no complaints, nothing. And the wonderful thing that I'm so amazed with my son, I don't know if you all have teenagers out there, and they can be a little moody for no reason. And, I'm like, son, you're blessed. You have your parents, you want for nothing. There's nothing missing, nothing broken in your life. And just moody. And it's diet. As much as I thought I was doing the right thing, it wasn't enough. And then there came Juice Plus, the chewables. About 1 month, I saw the change, the waking up, the morning mom. He'll be 17 next month. He has his little man voice. Good morning, mom. And I'm like, what? Who is this? I noticed a change in him. He's a happier person. Those moods that teenagers have that we charge up to, it's their hormones. And I discovered it's the diet, the food, the intake. And it has been a blessing. And I knew immediately my family, we had to have Juice Plus in our home. And I had to share it with others. And it has been a blessing. With this pandemic, my job, my hours cut, we had to shut down 3 times. And it has been an income replacement. So what I missed from my regular job, Juice Plus has been that blessing, and we were able to keep moving and not miss a beat. So I'm thankful to my Tower Garden. Let me just show you. I'm just gonna walk over. All right, come on. All right, here is I call her Goddess, y'all. So this is Goddess. I'm having difficulty trying to flip my camera. As you can see, I have basil here. And let me just say this, my basil and this lower section here, I'll say from here down, these are the same seeds that I've been harvesting from since we planted February of last year. This basil, 3 weeks afterwards, we were able to start pulling some basil, and we have been pulling and using basil for next month, February, the end of next month will be a whole year from the basil. I have parsley here. I have some celery growing in here. My carrabba, I absolutely love this beautiful carrabba. And of course, my Juice Plus down there. Can you see that? So I am absolutely loving my Tower Garden. I have catnip on here.
Beautiful.
Dino kale, curly kale. I also have my lemon balm. I love my lemon balm, and my broccolini. I love it, and my celery growing in there. So that's my Tower Garden, and I am absolutely in love, and I am so thankful. It has been nothing but a blessing and an answer to prayer for me and my family. Adrian, thanks for allowing me to share, and just encourage those that are on here to please get back with the person that invited you on tonight.
That is absolutely beautiful. And again, we never make any claims that Juice Plus or the Tower Garden heals or cures anything. But I mean, let food be thy medicine.
Yes.
Some things you just have to know with common sense. You eat this or you eat that. And it is what it is. So we never gonna say Juice Plus or having a Tower Garden and eating fresh, vine-ripened fruits and vegetables cures anything. And so with that, I'm going to call on Erica. And Erica, you can introduce Pastor Harold. And then Sunday will close us out.
You know, this is just such a beautiful community. I hope you feel inspired by what you're seeing. I hope you think, well, maybe I could do this, because we're all learners and we all have become successful. We need these kinds of positivo things, right? This is the time to be eating more plants. This is the time to be inspiring your friends, your family to eat more plants, and watch the ripple effect of what happens when you do that. And I'm so jazzed and inspired that Pastor Harold has come to team up with me. And, you know, it's a simple conversation that creates a ripple effect of, and he is just blowing me away with all of his commitment to his health. So I'll let him share his story. I just want to thank Pastor Harold for being my rock star. And thank you again for having us on.
We are on the move in 2021. I told you guys this at the beginning of the year, and ain't no stopping us now. We are on the move. This is the time for you guys to get with the person who invites you on this Zoom call to get healthier and add wealth besides health. You've heard all these stories. Psalms 107:2 says, "Let the redeemed of the Lord say so." That's tell your story. All you are hearing are stories being shared by people who have Tower Gardens and by people who have Juice Plus, who's taking the capsules and the omega-3s and the protein shakes. This is all about getting healthier. You guys heard my story, and I'm sharing my story again. The more I share my story, the more empowered I get. 2017, I had a stroke. 2013, I had a stroke. And my doctor gave me all different types of medications. I had high blood pressure. I was borderline diabetes. I had sleep apnea. I needed a machine to help me keep my breathing when I was asleep. And all these things were happening to me because of my health, because of my diet. And really, guys, what we're talking about here is supporting our immune system. Everybody's coming on talking about eating healthy and growing your own fruits and vegetables. We're all trying to get nutrients into our system to support our immune system, to fight off diseases, to fight off cancer, to fight off high blood pressure and heart disease. All these things that the immune system does for us, it needs proper diet. It needs nutrients in them. And when we have Tower Gardens and we have Juice Plus, that gives us the nutrients that we have. I'm just so excited because back in 2017, 17 when I started working on trying to get healthier. My doctor did not want my heart rate to get over 150 beats per minute. And she would not sign a waiver for me to work out with a person, one of my coaches. And now, I'm not taking any medication. Only thing I take are vegetables that come off my Tower Garden, and I take my fruits and berries from my capsules. I take my omega-3s, and right now, that is my medicine. You heard earlier, let thy food be thy medicine. That is my medicine. I have more energy than I've had I'm 53 years old, and I have more energy than I had when I was 23 years old. I'm running, not marathons, but I'm running 10Ks. The other day, I had to drop my car off to get it worked on. And when I dropped it off, instead of calling Uber or Lyft to take me back to the parsonage, I walked 6.7 miles. And then when they said it was done, I went back to pick it up. This is the energy that we have. I cannot tell you, when I'm preaching, I have so much more energy, and I'm sharing this with everybody. I don't care if you're Christian or Jewish, Muslim. Hey, if you want to get healthy, this is the way for you. This call is open up to everybody, and everybody needs to be a part of this. To my Christian brothers and sisters, Romans 12:2 says, "Be ye not conformed to the patterns of this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind." The person that invites you on this phone call because they love you and they want to help you and be a benefit for you. Don't conform yourself to the old ways of thinking, how you used to think, how you used to eat, your old diet, the ones that keep calling for you because what you used to. But be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. The renewing is getting in some new information, trying something different, trying something new. And this is Tower Garden. This is not a fad. It's going to be around. The company is 50 years old, okay? This is space science technology for us, and it helps and heals us. Juice Plus does not have to tell you whether it's going to heal the body. All the stuff I'm telling you, this healed my body. You don't have to hear from anybody else, just from me. This is my story. I'm being testimony about what Juice Plus has done for me. And my Tower Gardens, I'm going to show you guys something. I'm going to try to do this real fast because we want everybody to show the Tower Gardens. So I'm going to pull up my Tower Garden so I can show it to you. Okay, can you guys see that?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, good. This was my Tower Garden, February of last year. This was my first Tower Garden I got that was a home Tower Garden. I had got another one earlier that year, but I gave it to my mom. This is the home style Tower Garden, 13-gallon tank. It has the light system on it. It's all self-in-house. This is in my living room. I took out the corner end table and I slid my Tower Garden right in there. My couches are behind that. This was in February 2nd when I put this up. I remember when Dad came to my house. In just 3 months, this is what I had on my Tower Garden. I had kale, I had arugula, I had chard, I had basil, I had peppers, and all these things were growing natural. There was no pesticides on them. They weren't prone to the environment or to the rain, to the weather. It was all in my home. And this is what you get when you begin to get your own Tower Garden. This was the arugula on my Tower Garden. I was having, fresh salads, nice and
Wow.
peppy, all the time, every time I needed it. And this too, when you start looking to grow your health, this is what you too can have. So like the person said before, whoever invites you on this phone call, hey, they are looking out for you. So get back with them. Get on the Juice Plus, get on the Tower Gardens. If you need to, just start small. And then if you need a source of income, another source of income, this is a perfect way to do. This is not a get rich quick. This is growing your business. This is a business of health and a business of wealth. I have my family on this. I have my family and friends on this. And this is something that I want to share with them because it helps them sustain their life. It builds and promotes and sustains your immune system. Thanks again for Adrian for having me on. I'm so honored to be one of the hosts here. And we're going far with this. We are on the move with this. Thanks again, guys.
Thank you, Pastor.
Yes, thank you. And thank you for that. Thank you, Pastor. And we are so glad that you are a host on this call also. And again, Juice Plus, we don't say Juice Plus or eating off of a Tower Garden is going to heal anything. And we're not making any income claims. When I built this business, I was doing 2 full-time jobs. And one of them was a back-breaking, brutal job. The other one was working in Whole Foods in the supplement department and taking 15 minutes here, sitting in the car there, jumping on Zoom calls like this. So for in a week's time, I might have been putting in 2 hours worth of work. And and it was all fun. A year and a half, 2 hours a week, sporadically, on a Zoom call or making a phone call or in my bed or on my phone or on a Zoom call in my pajamas with the camera off and sometimes with it on, I was able to get rid of 2 full-time jobs. And it is what it is. So with that, I'm going to ask Sunday to please close us out.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you always for coming out and making this call happen for us. I want to say something else about this community. Last night, I was on a call with Lisa. Lisa's on a call. She had an event. This community is so powerful. She had an event for every year we pick a new word to just inspire us. And she had a paint event. And the community got together, a few of us, and it was so soothing. It was therapy. It was so good. And we painted our word for the year. So I'm just going to show my painting, and I would like Lisa to hold up hers. My word was 1,000,000 for 1,000,000 thanks to everyone, all our frontline workers, and 1,000,000 hugs. And if there's anybody else want to call and have their painting, you can just hold it up and let the community and the guests on the call just see outside that how awesome things that we do in this community. So this is another part of health. So with the Tower Gardens Juice Plus, the community, it all turns into a healthy lifestyle of living. So we're more than just the folks that join a business and try to educate you and get you to get more healthier. There are yoga events. There are so many different events that this community puts together. I'm sure you heard of our salad in a jar, soup in a jar, and now the paintings, and it's just so healthy. It's all around being healthy. So again, thank you for coming out. Thank you to our guest speakers, and get with the person that invited you on the call and come back with us every Saturday and bring someone with you. Francisca, she has a Spanish call every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Central Time, and 4 p.m. Pacific Time. That every Spanish speaking are welcome to this call. Reason why we do that is because we want to bring everybody who don't understand English that jump in that call, because we collecting for other call and we put it together, and also we have a special speaker every single week.
Thank you so much. With that, we're going to ask you to let us know where you're calling in from, your name, where you're calling in from, and say good night, and hope to see you next Saturday with a guest. Thank you all again. I'm Sunday Hicks calling in from Bronx, New York. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night. Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Good night. Amazing call.
Edie in Maine. Love the call. Thank you.
Yes.
Hey, Edie.
Emma Philadelphia.
Have a good night, everyone.
Risky from Newport.
Thank you.
Somebody calling from Newport.
Good night.
Good night, everyone. Annette from Maryland.
Leslie Parker from Maryland.
Marilyn's in the house. Good night.
Good night from Charleston, South Carolina.
Good night.
Boston. Good night.
Good night. Carmen from Georgia.
Good night.
Good night.
Got my dinner made from the Tower Garden.
Oh, right.
Fresh cilantro.
Thank you.
Good night, buenas noches from Maryland.
Maryland is.
Yes.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Lisa from
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Hi, Latoya.
Hey.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night. Good night.
Bye.
Good everybody.
Hi, Ife.
Hi, Diane. How are you?
Good to see you.
Trina Lee.
Hi, Tammy.
Yes.
Hey,
Yes.
Hey, Tammy.
I'm spending my birthday with you.
Happy birthday. Why you didn't tell us?
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tammy.
Thank you. Thank you.
Tammy,
Happy birthday, Tammy.
Thank you.
birthday.
Oh, it was an honor for us you to spend your birthday here. That's an honor for us.
Yes.
Happy birthday.
Yes.
Happy birthday
to
you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Oh, Tammy, it's your birthday. You want to party like it's your birthday.
Go, Tammy.
Oh, Tammy. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
So good
Yes.
to have you on. We have a guest from Alaska.
Yes, I'm Agnes. I'm a mom of two. I'm in Alaska. And I'm happy to be here.
The power of Facebook Live. So Sister Agnes just watched one of my videos today, and she's here tonight. So
Wow.
I'm just seeing her face for the first time.
Welcome.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Great.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Wow.
Monty should get you information about getting a tower out to Alaska because we have special ways we get it there. Yeah.
And I'm happy
Yes.
to join this community. I'm so happy.
Make some noise. If it's your birthday, make some noise.
If it's your birthday, make some noise. If it's your birthday, make some noise. If it's your birthday, make some noise. Make some noise. If it's your birthday, make some noise. If it's your birthday, make some noise.
Come on, Tammy, make some noise.
Come on, Tammy.
Make some noise, Tammy.
Noise. If it's your birthday, make some noise. If it's your birthday, make some noise.
Make some noise. Make some noise. Make some noise.